The day before the wedding, my boyfriend got into a car accident. When I rushed to St. Jude's Hospital, he was holding a woman and asked me with a cold stare, "Who are you?" After the doctor told me he had amnesia, I reluctantly canceled the wedding. But on his birthday, I unexpectedly overheard a conversation between him and his close friend. "Ethan, how long are you going to keep playing this game before you marry Grace?" Ethan's voice, both passionate and cold, echoed. "After's birthday, I'll consider it then." But when I took out the marriage certificate and showed it to him, he completely lost it. The private room door was ajar, and the conversation drifting from inside made me stop in my tracks. "Ethan, aren't you afraid Grace will break up with you after she finds out the truth?" Ethan's voice was nonchalant. "She won't. She was so devoted to chasing me back then, wasn't it just to marry me? Now that her parents are gone, I'm the only family she has left in this world. When the time comes, I just need to sweet-talk her a bit, and she'll get over it. Evelyn needs me more right now." The people nearby started teasing. "Ethan is really something. What if Evelyn changes her mind and agrees to be with you? What else can he do? Ethan would just dump that fool Grace." Ethan's deep, cold voice sounded again. "At that time I'll explain it properly to her." Hearing this, my heart sank, my hand slipped, and the box clattered to the floor. The private room door opened. The person who opened it saw me, and a flicker of panic crossed their eyes. "Grace, when did you get here?" "Just arrived." My voice was even, and the person in front of me immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Bending down to pick up the gift from the floor, I walked into the private room. Ethan was holding a red-faced, drunken woman. It was his long-cherished childhood sweetheart, Evelyn. A hint of guilt flashed across his face, but he quickly composed himself. "Grace, what are you doing here?" Didn't I say I'd consider our wedding after I regained my memory?" "Consider?" So he just saw me as an expendable option. I walked over and placed the gift in front of him. "This is what you always wanted." After saying that, I fled the place as if escaping. He didn't have amnesia. He just didn't want to marry me. He was still waiting for the woman named Evelyn to change her mind. After graduating from college, I became Ethan's assistant. This man, whose picture hung on the school bulletin board, had been my idol throughout my 4 years of university. After learning from colleagues that the woman he deeply loved had gone abroad, my heart, which harbored feelings for him, began to stir again. Finally, after countless nights of covering for him and getting drunk, Ethan personally drove me home. In the intimate, confined space of the car, he turned to me and asked seriously, "Grace, why don't we give it a try?" In the year my parents died in a car accident, he took meticulous care of me, holding me and softly comforting me. "Grace, from now on, I'll be your only family." After that, I followed him everywhere like a shadow. Until the day Evelyn returned to the country. A different look appeared in his eyes. My memories were interrupted by the ringing of my phone. "Grace, Ethan is drunk. Can you pick him up and take him home?" Thinking of these people who knew the truth, cooperating with Ethan to play me for a fool, I snapped back into the phone, "You guys take him home. I have plans tonight." Without waiting for a reply, I hung up the phone. After sitting alone at the bar for a few hours, I still returned to that house. The moment the bedroom door opened, Ethan was wrapped in a bath towel. A woman lay on the bed. I didn't question him. I simply turned and went to the guest room. Ethan followed me and grabbed my arm. "Evelyn is drunk. I was afraid something would happen to her, so I brought her back. Even if you're my girlfriend, Evelyn is my family." So so many family members in this world. Perhaps the cold wind made me feel unwell, so I just took a day off and stayed home. When I woke up, the table was already laden with an elaborate breakfast. Evelyn greeted me with a smile. "Miss, Ethan and I grew up together and have a strong bond." I kept my head down, nibbling on my bread, not responding. She continued to ramble. "Ethan has amnesia. He's forgotten some insignificant things." Insignificant things, she called them. I couldn't help but pick up the milk beside me and took a sip. The scalding milk instantly burned my throat. Evelyn suddenly rushed forward, just as she bumped into the milk I'd accidentally knocked over. She let out a loud scream. The door to another room flew open, and Ethan rushed out. He worriedly took Evelyn's hand and examined it. The next second, his eyes turned to me, filled with rage. "Grace, was that intentional? Do you know how important next week's piano performance is to Evelyn? I never thought you were so consumed by jealousy." The searing pain deep in my throat left me no strength to even retort. Before I could react, he immediately scooped up Evelyn and rushed out. It wasn't until evening that Ethan returned. I was in the living room, drinking soup. He walked over, snatched the soup from my hands, and smashed it onto the floor. Amidst the sound of the ceramic bowl shattering, he roared, "Grace, do you have any idea that if it were any more severe, Evelyn might never be able to play the piano again?" I had no words. I only regretted that the only food I could eat right now had been ruined by him. After taking a deep breath, I took out my phone and typed a few words. She bumped into the milk herself. It wasn't intentional. I was a little anxious and continued typing to explain myself. Ethan snatched my phone and threw it to the ground. "Grace, you've truly disappointed me." The next second, he grabbed my arm, lifted me up, and started walking toward the door. "Grace, you her. T. Evelyn, and now you want to escape responsibility? Today, you must go apologize to her until she forgives you." I struggled relentlessly, but he threw me into the car. The car sped toward St. Jude's Hospital, and my heart turned to ice. In the St. Jude's Hospital room, Evelyn lay there, pale, with thick bandages wrapped around her hand. Ethan dragged me inside. "Apologize." I opened my mouth, but could only manage a faint sound. It was the frightened young nurse nearby who noticed something was wrong, walked over to me, and exclaimed, "Miss, your throat burn is quite severe. If you don't treat it properly, it will get much worse." A subtle expression flickered across Ethan's face, and his voice softened. "Don't try to play the victim here to avoid responsibility. First, apologize to Evelyn, then go get your injury treated." The young nurse looked at us nervously. She wanted to say more, but I stopped her. I borrowed the pen from the nurse's hand and wrote a line of text. "Miss, I'm sorry. I'm giving Ethan back to you." Ethan's face immediately fell. "Grace, what do you mean? What does giving back to Evelyn mean?" His voice involuntarily rose. "Didn't you say you were my girlfriend? Or have you been lying to me all this time?" Even now, he was still pretending to have amnesia, but I no longer wanted to be a fool playing along with his act. I bowed deeply, then turned and fled the room as if escaping, ignoring Ethan's roars behind me. As I walked out of St. Jude's Hospital, I felt as if something was slowly draining away. The night wind was so cold, I couldn't help but hug myself tightly. The next second, a jacket was draped over my shoulders. I turned to see a familiar face, Liam. How could he be back from overseas? Liam was a childhood friend. The day Ethan and I announced we were together, he also went abroad. Yet here he was, standing before me, looking down at me. "What? Ethan dumped you?" I playfully punched him and nodded, my eyes red. After seeing me type out the whole story on my phone, Liam clenched his fists, saying he was going in to punch Ethan, but I stopped him. The next second, the man in front of me knelt down. "Grace, why don't we try?" Those same words. Ethan's face instantly flashed in my mind, my nose stung, and tears streamed down my cheeks. Liam was flustered. He pulled me into a hug and gently patted my back to comfort me. "Okay, don't cry. I was just kidding. Actually, my mom's been pressuring me. I just wanted to find someone to deflect her." I pushed him away. On my phone, I typed okay. With help, I moved out of Ethan's estate. These days, probably because of Evelyn, Ethan hadn't actively sought me out. After all, he had amnesia, so how could he be easily exposed? Liam's parents rushed back from overseas. On the day of the engagement party, when I arrived in my gown, I surprisingly ran into Ethan at the Hyatt entrance. He looked at me with surprise, his face filled with displeasure. "Grace, do you know it's Evelyn's birthday today? Why are you dressed like that?" The people nearby immediately started teasing. "Grace has been gone so long. It looks like she came prepared today. Is she here to propose to Ethan?" Ethan's face flushed slightly, but I took a document from my bag and handed it to him. "Mr. Ethan, this is my resignation letter. Thank you for your guidance all these years." The surroundings instantly fell silent. Ethan took the document, his face filled with disbelief, which quickly turned to anger. "Grace, are you using your resignation to force me to marry you?" After saying that, he threw the resignation letter at me. "Before I regain my memory, you'd better not make a scene." Before he could finish speaking, a pair of hands linked around his arm. "Ethan, let's go in. Today's birthday party has a lot of friends attending." Evelyn looked at me provocatively. "Miss, why don't you join us? Although I didn't invite you, you're Ethan's secretary, so I'm happy you're here." She heaved. Eiley emphasized the word secretary. I didn't answer. I turned and started walking in another direction, but Ethan grabbed my arm. "Grace, what are you trying to do? It's Evelyn's birthday today. Whatever you want to say, we can talk about it later. If you dare to ruin such an important day, I will never forgive you." Feeling the sympathetic gazes of those around me, my cheeks flushed slightly. Ethan, perhaps realizing his words were too harsh, released my arm. "I've forgotten a lot of things. It's truly unfair to you. I couldn't help but sneer and pulled my arm free from his grasp. Don't flatter yourself, Ethan. My resignation is a notification to you. It doesn't require your approval. Our breakup was finalized at St. Jude's Hospital. Today, I'm here to get married, not to watch your act. Ethan's face turned even uglier, and he said sharply, let me tell you again, Evelyn needs me right now. I won't marry you now. If you still want to marry me, then don't make a scene here. After saying that, he turned and exchanged glances with Evelyn, giving her a reassuring look. After's birthday is over, I'll give you an answer. Evelyn today was dressed very formally, so much so that an outsider might think it was their engagement party. I scoffed and pulled out a red marriage certificate booklet from my bag. I opened the booklet and held it up so everyone present could see it clearly. Ethan, don't you know? I'm already married. Everyone around us suddenly fell silent, and all eyes turned to Ethan. Ethan's best friend beside him spoke up. Grace, you must be kidding, right? That's definitely a forged document. You're just trying to make Ethan angry, aren't you? Grace, marriage is a big deal. You can't just act recklessly out of spite. I wasn't going to explain further. I turned to walk toward my own banquet hall. The next second, Ethan grabbed my arm. Evelyn spoke first. Ethan, since Miss is already married, let's just wish her well. After all, you've long forgotten W. Had happened before. Ethan acted as if he hadn't heard anything and dragged me toward the exit. Grace, I need to talk to you properly. I struggled with all my might to free my hand from his grip. Mr. Ethan, I am no longer your employee. Please keep your distance from me. No one dared to intervene. Evelyn, standing nearby, also fearfully released Ethan's arm. Only the look in her eyes as she stared at me was full of jealousy. Suddenly, a fist landed on Ethan's face. Liam pulled me close, checked me over, and only breathed a sigh of relief after confirming I was unharmed. Ethan, I told you. As long as you hurt Grace, I would take her away from you. Today is Grace's and my engagement party. What are you trying to do? Ethan didn't answer. He just stared intently at Liam's hand on my waist. Evelyn walked over, helped Ethan up, and pointed at me, shouting, Miss, while Ethan had amnesia, you ran off with another man. I think you've been doing things behind Ethan's back for a long time. The few people around began to look at me with disdain. Grace, you and Ethan have been together for so many years. How could you secretly flirt with other guys behind his back? Grace, do you think you're being fair to Ethan after he took such good care of you? This time, I burst out laughing. Miss, do you reflect like this when you're holding someone else's boyfriend? Ethan has amnesia, he didn't have a breakup. Since you two truly love each other, I'll bless your union. Evelyn's eyes immediately welled up, and she looked at Ethan with a wronged expression. Ethan remained unmoved, but suddenly began to panic. Grace, you said you'd wait for me to regain my memory. I don't agree to break up. Wait for him? But what I waited for was his retreating back, holding Evelyn. What I waited for was his hysterical rage and distrust towards me. All for Evelyn. Thinking of this, I took Liam's hand and walked away without looking back. Ethan, but I've forgotten everything. From the day he pretended to have amnesia, I should have forgotten. The farce was over. Evelyn's birthday party was still going on. Recently, to care for Evelyn, Ethan had been at St. Jude's Hospital. When I finally returned to my own home, there was no trace left of my life there. Even the bed sheets I used to sleep on had all been changed. Brenda spoke cautiously. Mr. Ethan, did you and Miss break up? She was so badly burned that day. Is she okay? Under interrogation, Brenda finally revealed everything. That morning's milk was prepared by Mississippi. I even reminded her. I never thought Miss would drink it and get burned. But why did you leave with Miss in your arms? Brenda had worked here for many years and was very familiar with both me and Ethan. These words made Ethan's heart sink to rock bottom. He heard Evelyn scream and came out, but thought I had hurt Evelyn out of jealousy. Ethan was filled with regret. But even so, how could he just give up so easily? Back in his room, he suddenly saw the box on the bedside table. This was the birthday gift I had given him. He opened the box curiously. Inside was a portrait of his mother, who had passed away years ago. Ethan traced the face on the painting. After his parents divorced, his mother had moved to France. She had lived there for a long time, and it wasn't until her death that he learned about this painting from her neighbors. I had only heard him mention it, and I had kept it in my heart. I went to France, searched for a long time, and finally bought it from a painter with all my savings. To him, Evelyn was the cherished childhood sweetheart of his youth. I wasn't that moon. I was the one who had always stayed by his side with true devotion. Ethan carefully placed the painting back in the box and sat on the edge of the bed, clutching his chest. He looked up and realized even the wall lamp we both used to love I had taken with me. At the birthday party, he didn't confess his feelings to Evelyn as expected, but loudly SE'd her feelings to him in front of everyone. He should have been happy. This was what he had yearned for all these years. It was a regret that had been buried in his heart ever since Evelyn went abroad. That was the dream of his youth. Only when he saw me leave so decisively did he realize that dream had long been shattered. But when everyone started teasing them to get together, he fled. He fled back home in utter disarray. I was no longer in his home. No longer was there me, jumping into his arms the moment he opened the door. No longer was there me, cuddling him at night, playfully refusing to sleep. Thinking of this, Ethan pulled out his phone and frantically called me. At the party, I frowned at the incoming call, hardened my heart, and blocked the number. I blocked all contact methods related to Ethan. Liam asked me with a smile, "Are you really willing to do this? You used to be so devoted to that man." His smile suddenly vanished. He picked up his glass and downed it. "If you truly regret it, I'll help you." I picked up my glass and took a sip. The burning sensation of the alcohol in my throat brought me back to my senses. From the day I found out he was lying to me, we were over. I saw Ethan again at a project bidding. Evelyn was by his side. From the moment I walked in, his eyes were fixed on me. I pretended to be indifferent and calmly went on stage to present my project proposal. I had expected a tough fight, but I didn't expect Ethan Sterling to have declined so much in strength. The project fell into my hands without surprise. After it ended, Evelyn walked over to me. "Miss, I didn't expect you and Ethan to become rivals. You must have put a lot of effort into this project, didn't you? It seems after you left Ethan, you found a powerful benefactor." I picked up my project proposal and didn't back down. "Miss, do you think work matters are like men? You just cry a bit, take off a few clothes, and you get what you want." Evelyn's face was filled with rage. She raised her hand and swung it at me, but Ethan grabbed it. The people around began to whisper, their gazes toward Evelyn filled with disdain. Evelyn's face flushed crimson. "Ethan, you're just going to stand there and watch Grace humiliate me?" Ethan's deep voice rang out. "Evelyn, stop messing around. Our strength simply isn't as good as theirs." Evelyn slapped Ethan across the face. "Ethan, you've changed. You weren't like this before." I really didn't want to watch their melodramatic show anymore. As I walked out of the corporate, I saw Liam waiting for me in his car. Just as I stepped into the car, someone grabbed my arm. I turned around. Ethan, with half his face red, looked at me with a pleading expression. "Grace, I want to talk to you properly." Liam's fist was already raised, but I stopped him. "At Daily Cafe." Ethan spoke first. "Grace, what do I need to do for you to forgive me? Even if it was my fault before, you can't sacrifice your whole life just to punish me." I reached for my cup. The sparkling diamond ring on my finger symbolized my new status. "I never do anything I'll regret." "Ethan, from the moment you decided to lie to me, we were over. I'm only here to tell you, don't ruin Sterling. Over a woman." Sterling was all the hard work Ethan's father had left him. I remembered a friend telling me earlier. They saw Evelyn on a date with a stranger. "Ethan, is this your karma?" This was all I could warn him about. When I got home, Liam wrapped his arms around me, pinning me against the wall, looking displeased. "Grace, I really don't like the way he looked at you." I stood on my tiptoes and gave him a fleeting kiss on the cheek. Liam jumped as if he'd been electrocuted. "Grace, you're playing with fire." I laughed and slipped from under his arm. "Liam, I'm not ready yet." I wasn't ready to jump into a new relationship so quickly. The next day, Liam's mother took out a box and placed it in front of me. "These are Liam's things. The password is your birthday." I curiously opened the box. Inside was a hair clip I'd lost as a child and a diary. "He loved chasing you and sticking to you since he was a child. Only after he found out you had a boyfriend did he decide to go abroad. This time, too, he heard you were being bullied and immediately came back." Liam's mother took my hand with a relieved smile. "Grace, Brenda watched you grow up. Brenda believes you would never let Liam down." I nodded. Before, I was always chasing Ethan. I never imagined there was someone always watching me from behind. Since I had made up my mind, I would live my life well. But one day on my way home from work, my car broke down. When I got out to check it, I was suddenly ambushed, drugged, and taken away by several people. When I woke up, Evelyn's face appeared before me. Her expression was sinister. She slapped me across the face. "Grace, what makes your few years with Ethan comparable to the bond he and I have shared since childhood? Just because of a few words from you, he started doubting me. Why?" I voiced the suspicion in my heart. Evelyn, Ethan loves you so much. Why are you still trying to ruin Sterling? The woman in front of me laughed hysterically. Love? What is love? Is a man's love useful? I have plenty of men who love me. Ethan is just the most useful one. If it weren't for you, I would have been Mrs. Ethan long ago. As she spoke, she pinched my chin with her fingers, her eyes filled with jealousy. A woman like you, what makes him keep thinking about you? Evelyn's phone rang. She glanced at it and snorted coldly. He would actually give up all his corporate shares for a woman like you. Ethan has really changed, truly changed. The woman in front of me mumbled to herself, as if trying to convince herself. That makes things much simpler. She suddenly put her phone in front of me. Grace, since both Ethan and Liam are willing to trade their entire companies for you, you choose. I bit Evelyn's hand. I won't choose anyone. If you're so capable, kill me. You won't get a single penny. Evelyn suddenly stopped her frenzy and stared intently at me. Kill you? You wish. I'll make your life a living hell. After saying that, she called a few men in from outside. Tell me, if Ethan and Liam saw you in this state, would they still fight over you? I'm going to record your most shameless moments and make them all go to hell with me. This woman truly was insane. Evelyn lifted her phone as she spoke. Grace, no one can snatch anything from me, not even Ethan. As long as I ruin you, Ethan will come back to me. The men slowly approached me. I took a deep breath. My mind was still racing, trying to figure out how to buy time, when a loud roar echoed from outside. Evelyn looked outside, her face filled with disbelief. Impossible? Who is it? I instantly breathed a sigh of relief. Someone had been following me lately. I had told Liam about it. He had someone install a tracking app on my phone. While was threatening him, I guessed he was already on his way. And the Shin family's only helicopter was the fastest mode of transportation. The next second, the warehouse door was kicked open. Ethan and Liam walked in anxiously. Evelyn, release Grace. I'll give you everything I promised. Ethan's words seemed to provoke Evelyn. She pulled out a knife from somewhere and held it to my throat. Grace, you truly are lucky. Both of them are willing to lose everything for you, she said, looking resentfully at Ethan. Ethan, she doesn't love you anymore. Why won't you accept me? Evelyn's hysterical words made Ethan frown. His gaze suddenly softened. He slowly walked closer. Evelyn, I've already announced our marriage. Soon you'll be Mrs. Ethan. Evelyn finally regained her composure, her eyes filled with surprise. Ethan, I knew you always loved me. Ethan gently persuaded her to drop the knife and pulled her into his arms. Liam ran over, untied the ropes binding me, and pulled E into his embrace. A scream pierced the air. Evelyn stared in despair at the silver handcuffs on her wrists. Why did you lie to me? Ethan kicked her to the ground. I could tolerate you stealing Sterling's money. It was my debt to you. From the moment you hurt Grace, this is your consequence. Evelyn seemed to have no reaction, didn't even cry out, and was taken away by the arriving police. I later learned. After joined Ethan Sterling, she not only used her position to transfer a large amount of corporate assets, but also frequently suppressed colleagues who were kind to me. Colleagues she deliberately suppressed suffered immensely, and many resigned, which was when Ethan finally started to notice something was amiss. Evelyn in prison stubbornly refused to admit where the money had gone. The enormous losses caused Ethan Sterling to face a financial crisis. Months later, I, representing the new company, acquired Ethan Sterling. While signing the document, Ethan kept staring blankly at my stomach, not even noticing when the pen in his hand broke. Mr. Ethan, the media is watching. Please sign quickly so I can finish my work. A visible baby bump showed on my abdomen, and my face indeed held an urging expression. This was completely unexpected. On's birthday, he and I both got drunk. I don't know how, but we ended up sleeping together. The next month, I discovered the arrival of this new life. After signing, Ethan mumbled to himself, if we hadn't separated, our child would be this big by now. My heart sank. I shook my head. Ethan, everyone has to look forward. Maybe you'll find someone more suitable for you. He opened his mouth, wanting to say something more, but then turned and left. Liam was waiting for me downstairs. If you don't come down soon, I'll call the police. That guy Ethan, every time he sees you, acts like he's about to take you home. I really want to lock you up at home. I pinched Liam's cheek. Can you act like a father? So petty. He pulled me into a hug, resting his head on my neck. All those years, I gave you up to him. You have no idea how much I missed you. I was thinking, if I had told you sooner, maybe you wouldn't have had to go through all this. My nose stung. I gave his waist a firm pinch. Liam, I'm truly lucky to have met you. Without him, how would I have escaped from Ethan's quagmire? I touched my belly. This was the beginning of happiness. Ethan's extra the night before the wedding, Evelyn came to find me. She said she had met a jerk and was completely heartbroken. She said I was the best man in the world. She was drunk and fell asleep in my arms. Back then, she followed someone she liked abroad, and I never got the chance to confess my feelings to her. From the day she saved me when we were children, I fell in love with her. So many years of secret love had actually come true. But what about Grace? What would happen to her? So I staged a car accident and pretended to have amnesia to fulfill a dream from my youth, but was truly ignorant. She actually used milk to scald Evelyn. I asked her to apologize, but she stubbornly said she would leave. Absolutely not. Grace's world only contained me. She would never leave. I stayed by Evelyn's side, taking care of her. As soon as her birthday was over, I would confess everything to Grace. She would definitely forgive me. But when on Evelyn's birthday, I saw the photo in that red marriage certificate booklet, I admit, I went crazy. The who once considered me her whole world was gone. When told me Evelyn had prepared the milk, I instantly understood everything. My childhood sweetheart had long since changed. And yet, for her, I had hurt the woman who loved me most. Seeing the gift she had meticulously prepared for me, I felt a pang of agony in my heart. But she had blocked me. She had blocked me from her entire world. The next time I saw her, she warned me to be careful of Evelyn. When I discovered Evelyn truly had other men outside, my youthful heart was completely shattered. This woman was nothing like what I thought she was. Unlike wholehearted and pure love, this woman had come into my life with an agenda. The day Grace was kidnapped, I went crazy with worry. I unhesitatingly agreed to Evelyn's demands. As long as I could ensure her safety, I was willing to lose everything. Liam was different from me. He had already arranged everything. When I saw Grace tied up there, I truly wanted to kill that woman, Evelyn. But she couldn't die. She had done so many things. I wanted to make her life a living hell. I hired the best lawyer to get her a life sentence. Her remaining life would be spent in there. I wanted her to repent for her actions for the rest of her life. Liam's extra I had loved Grace for countless years. The pain of seeing the girl I had cherished since childhood fall in love with someone else was truly something no one could understand. I had no choice but to go abroad alone to heal. I couldn't stand her showing off Ethan's virtues in front of me or flaunting their sweet relationship. Yet I would still secretly ask Grace's friends for news about her. Her every joy, anger, sorrow, and happiness revolved around Ethan. It was both agonizing and irresistible to hear. When I learned that Grace had been bullied by that guy Ethan, I dropped everything and returned home. Finally, at St. Jude's hospital entrance, I pretended to run into her. She was still so adorable, but her face was covered in tears. That jerk Ethan, I was going to go in there and teach him a lesson. Grace stopped me. I proposed to her with the lamest excuse. She actually agreed. I knew she was just using me as a tool to heal. So what? As long as I got a glimmer of a chance, I wouldn't back down like before. I would let Grace know how much I loved her. A fickle guy like Ethan simply didn't deserve Grace's love. Looking at the woman sleeping peacefully in my arms, I had never been as happy in my life as I was today. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.